Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So I was about to, you can see the 36 to 50 down there on the moor. I was about to go mow a bit of grass, but the weather had other plans and it just started to let down a big shower of rain. Literally, I had the tractor, I was in the tractor and it started, and I seen the clouds come and I says, hold on, we see what this is going to do. And it just spilled rain for about 5 minutes. It soaked everything. So put an end to that. So you're after seeing us pulling out the plough. Couple of things to do on the plough. It's here since the springtime, so it's done nothing since then. I'm stuck in this corner. We have one point here I see that we need to change. We only have to turn around because the other side of it is as new, so you can swap, just reverse it around, and that'll be that one. I think there's another one somewhere here. Yeah, there is on the back. If you can see it there, but that one is, there's actually one of the bolts is broken in it, so it needs a whole new point on the back, and the other three are okay. That one there may need reversed. We'll see when we get it turned over. So there might be one to be reversed here and one to be reversed on the top, and then one to be changed on the back, a whole new one. And then probably put in the tractor to do this, because we get it lifted up and turned around to do the ones on the bodies on the ground at the minute, and when we have it on the tractor we get it all greased up and ready to go. We are spreading dung today, so I have a bit of footage of that. I took that this morning, so you'll see that a little bit later in the video, just the bit of footage of the dung going on the tillage ground. And we'll see if the weather plays ball. We'll maybe be ploughing next week. If it doesn't, could be the week after. We'll just have to see. But there's a bit of rain coming Sunday, and I think there's rain Tuesday or Wednesday next week as well, so may not be flat out into the cereal planting just yet, but we want to get it as soon as there's a dry spell. We're going to try and get it into the ground and get it sown if we can, but it really depends on the weather. So alright, so what we'll do is we'll hook this on the tractor. We'll get a few tools and we'll get cracking on changing the points on this, see what else it needs done to it, and get it greased up and get it ready for the ground. Alright, so we've one change on the bottom and we've changed her over to see what's the story up here. Now, that one's just getting to the point where you wouldn't be using the plough an hour and you'd have to get out and change it, so I think might as well change it now. So the first thing you have to do is knock out the bit of clay from around it, which is pretty straightforward, like so. And that just allows you the space now around your the two nuts here to loosen them, and we'll get this one turned. Okay, let's see if we can set this camera up somewhere. Right, set up a different camera. Let's see what we can do here. See if we can get these off. Oh, there's one. Try not to lose our nuts. Two. That should maybe screw it out and try that out. I'll just give it a tap and pop off fairly easily. There's not much to change in these. It's usually fairly straightforward. And it's literally just a matter of just swap it around and pop it back in. There's a little bit of clay there underneath, we'll just rub it off. And once you have one popped in, let's get them two popped in. See if we can just get the nut onto them again on each one. Like so. Done. So simple as that. Pull her off the camera so we can have a look at it, and there you see it. Simple as that. Fresh new bite, loads of meat on that, and that'll do quite a while once we don't hit some dirty big stone and pull it off. So many more will be the change. That one there, get away with it for a while yet. And that one there is okay, it's not that long changed. And here's the other one down the back. So we'll take it off, do the same with it. We'll weave a new one for it and we'll pop it on. Alright, so the other thing we have to do now is, now that we've it all hooked on and the steelwork points are all changed on it, we have to do a bit of greasing. So I have the Milwaukee grease gun here. I also, over on the bench, well, it's not bench, it's a table over there, I have the hand pump grease gun as well. So we have both grease guns. Discs all have to be greased. There's a greasing point here on the discs everywhere. You just, what you're doing is you're pumping the grease in here, and it gets in here to the bearing where it turns. So you have to grease that. The discs is probably one of the most important greasing points on the plough, because they're constantly moving on the ground, or they should be unless there's something wrong. Other important ones is a couple of grease points here at the headstock at the front where it pivots round or spins round, and then on the ram here, this is the ram that spins the plough over. There's grease point top and bottom on it, and then this one here pulls the plough in and out. There's a grease point here on the front of it, and then one on the back. Because this is a vary width, there's a lot of moving parts in it, so there's a good few greasing points in it. When I get the bodies lying down, I'll show you some of the grease points on it as well. But yeah, it's fairly straightforward to basically push it on, push it in. Once you've it cleaned out, bring a few pumps, that'll do it, and just go around and do the discs. So I'll do the discs here that are on the top, get them all done. I'll go around and do these few here that I can get at, and when I turn it over and we let it down, I'll show you the bodies let down and what you have to do then on it. The other thing that I mentioned, apart from all the greasing points, we also let the pressure off and let all the bodies down on the plough. and what you're doing is where the plough sits whilst pressured up and in the ploughing position, you've got this rounded piece of bow that slots into these little seats or grooves, and basically by letting it down, we just pop a little bit of grease in each one of them on every body the whole way down, and it means that as you're ploughing away and if the bodies are jigging away, or if you hit a stone and it has to trip release, it hinges on these little points. So by greasing them, it just stops wear on that part of the plough. So I've already let it down whilst it was in the other way around, and on the bottom side. So I've flipped it over now. I'm just going to do this top side as well. Very simple. So you just put a blob of grease on it. I'm using let's see if we can set this up here that you can just basically see it. You might be able to just see it if the camera sits there. It's basically just put a blob of grease in there like that, and camera fell, it was really sitting there. But yeah, you can kind of see there's just a blob of grease goes in, and when you put the pressure back on the plough, grease pushes all around it and it lubricates it then. So I'll do that now, and it just depends, maybe after about 50-60 acres I'll do it again, and just keeps it right. There's very little wear on the plough, considering that it's like 10 years old at this stage. And there's so many moving parts on it. We've always kept it well greased, and there's very little wear on it. So just one more thing that has to be done, and that's all that's left. Everything else is greased. When around greased all the pivot points on the discs as well. You just put a bit of grease in here, and where it pivots at the top, it greases that, and then all the other moving parts that there is are all greased. So yeah, nearly there. Another 5 minutes I'll finish it off. Alright, so on from one tillage preparation job to the next. This one's a bit of field work, and it is a messy job putting out chicken dung, but a very important job nonetheless. Putting chicken dung out on the tillage ground, we've been doing that now for the last few years. We were seeing good results from it up until this year. The yields were back a bit due to weather conditions more so than anything. But over the previous couple of years, we're seeing very good results with it. So we're not going to stop doing that for now. We'll be keeping that going forward. You can see we're loading it here with track machine. Track machine, been doing that the last couple of years as well. You used to always fill it with the teleporter, but there was a couple of problems with the teleporter with doing it. Once you'd actually be out and in the middle of it, and fill in the dung, the tyres in the teleporter all fills up with dung, clay, muck, whatever, and it just starts slipping and sliding around the place because it is quite slippy to drive on. So you're slipping and sliding around the place trying to fill it. It was hard on the teleporter. It's hard on any teleporter. Everything gets very hot on it when you're doing it. So I've done it with the digger the last couple of years, and it's a better job. It's faster, doesn't slip and slide around the place, and you can tidy up teleporter, when you'd be sliding the bucket along the ground, you could chance that you might take some clay with you, which isn't ideal. Bucket of the teleporter, just grade it along, you take it right down to the clay, and it's much more manageable than the teleporter when you're scraping and tidying up. And cleaner, you could never get it as clean with the teleporter as you can with the with the track machine. So that's great plus. The spreader itself, it's a budding spreader. Great, it's a great spreader. Holds a savage amount of dung, and between the two, you end up, you can get through 70, 80 acres a day, no problem with it. So, and that's what you want. You want to be able to, it's the kind of job that you just want to be able to get stuck into and get it done. The digger is their own digger, but the dung spreader is contractor hired in. It's Muffy Contracting that is doing it. So you'll see it's a nice Dites tractor that is pulling the spreader. I think it's like a 250. I can't remember just exact numbering or lettering on it, but I remember seeing 250 on it. So yeah, it's a good big enough tractor and well fit for the spreader. The dung itself, we're putting it on at a rate of 5 ton per acre. That's what we're aiming for. This ground is quite hungry. This is only a couple of years now that we've been in it, so I would actually like to try a little bit more, or maybe even push it up to 6 ton to the acre for this year, just to try and get the ground built up a bit. But we're afraid of the problem with, if you push it too hard, you can end up with it will put the crop down. There's no doubt it'll put the crop down. It's winter barley that we are hoping to put into this. So yeah, you don't want putting on too much chicken dung and causing issues then with lodging of the crop later on. So we've left it at the 5 ton, and it'll help to build the ground up. It also helps to reduce your chemical fertilizer bill a little bit. You don't have to put on as much with it, which is always a plus too. So it certainly has its benefits. Bit of work with it, where the likes of having to draw it in and just have it weighed out and put it in all the fields. But at the same time, as I say, it is something that's worthwhile. We had the hedges also cut this week, so the ground is tidied up and ready to go. The problem is the weather just isn't with us yet. This coming week is looking like it's going to be a little bit on the wet side, so we're probably going to have to wait. It'll probably be a week or maybe 10 days before we're doing any ploughing, but we will see. Alright, so this video is just going to go a wee bit in a different direction now, because the next part of this video was supposed to be me going to mow some silage, mow it down. We're going to build up that afternoon, and the video itself then was going to be up last Sunday. So I was sitting in the tractor about to leave to go and mow the grass, everything ready to go, just about to drive out the gate, and I got a phone call from Suzanne to say that her father had passed away very suddenly. So that's my father-in-law. So our worlds got turned upside down with that news, and we had a busy number of days then. Suzanne is from Plough in County Wicklow, so it's about a 2-hour drive from where I am down to her home house, and we had a busy few days then over the next number of days, and a tough few days as well. But I just want to put a little bit of footage up that I have here of Harry. He was a farming contractor in his younger years, and a well-known contractor, would be very well known in farming circles in that Arklow area. Would have made a lot of hay, mowing, tedding, turning, rowing, baling, all that kind of stuff. So he was well known for doing all that kind of work. And I have a wee bit of footage just that was taken in the last couple of years of him doing what he loved. And yeah, I just wanted to put it up just as a little memory of Harry, and a small tribute to him as well. So I'll put that up next. Thanks for watching.
Video or not? Yeah. All this one, okay. if it turns around.